friends, welcome back, or welcome if you're new. My name is Emma and this is Emma's Cottage. In today's tutorial, we are going to have some fun. And I'm going to be honest with you, this is the first time for me doing it. I have no idea how it's going to turn out and I have mixed reviews on what I think. So what we're doing today is a placemat that I got from rtssublimation.com or Tamara's Tidbits, however you want to call it. I want to say that these go for like $2, $3. I can't remember off the top of my head, but go check out their website. I will make sure that I have it linked in the description below. But I'm going to try something totally different than I've seen on YouTube or anybody else try before. I'm going to try to do Thanksgiving placemat on this side, and then I'm going to try and do Christmas placemat on this side. I don't know if it's gonna work. I really want it to work, but I'm kind of nervous that the image from one side is gonna show through to the other side. So if I do the first press and I can see that it's showing through to the back, then I'll probably not do the second press because I don't want to ruin it. But I'm gonna try it, and you guys are gonna watch me either fail or succeed, or as my son would say, there's no such thing as failure. Failure is just proof that you're trying, so it's always a success. So if this sounds like fun to you, then tag along. Oh, before I forget, because I know somebody is going to ask, I get asked this in every video multiple times. Emma, how'd you make your shirt? Guess what? I already did a video teaching how to make this shirt. I'm going to go ahead and link it up above. One of the sides, I don't know which side, but somewhere up above, you will see the link to the video and you too can learn how to make this really cute sweatshirt. All right, so we're going to start out by making our shape of our placemat. I'm going to unlock the size. I know the width was 15.5 and I know the height was 11.5. So there we go. There's our template. You can see it doesn't fit the whole screen. So all I have to do is come down here to where it says 100% and I'm going to reduce it so that it can fit the entire screen. Now I'm a very visual person, so I'm going to go ahead and just change this to the color of my placemat, which is around that color. If I wanted to get it more accurate, I could definitely change it closer to what the actual color of the placemat. You don't have to do this. This is just me. I'm a visual person. Okay, so we want to come up with an idea for what I want the Christmas placemat to say and what I want the Thanksgiving placemat to say. So before I get any further, I'm actually going to right click and I'm going to duplicate this. I'm just going to move it off to the side because one's going to be for Christmas, one's going to be for Thanksgiving. So let's go and find maybe some images that we can use within Cricut Design Space. Now you guys can get your images from anywhere. You can get them from Etsy, you can get them from Creative Fabrica, you can get them from designbundles.net. And I may just do that, but as of right now, I'm going to go ahead and just start in Cricut Design Space. I am a monthly subscription member, so I get lots of different designs that I can use. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to type in Thanksgiving. Here we go. So we can see a whole bunch of different Thanksgiving things. And this is where you kind of go through and be like, well, what do I like? What do I think is cute? So I'm just going to slowly go down this list and I'm going to pick and choose some of the things I like. I think that I've got some pretty good things selected, so I'm going to go ahead and just click Add to Canvas. And honestly, you guys, this is truly how I come up with all of my designs. I just sit here and play with it until I decide what I like. So I'm going to put this on here. That just helps get my creative juices flowing. I'm trying to decide which one I like best or if I don't like any of them at all. Kind of like this one. I don't think this is one of my favorites, so I'm going to delete it. I feel like I really like this one. I just wish it was more colorful. Yeah, I think I might move this one. This one's cute, but I don't like it enough to print it. So I'm going to delete that one. Now you guys can see that this is kind of a harsh line. And when I say harsh, it's just around the edges are black, and it's because it's come in as a basic cut. If I go in and change that to standard, look how it looks very soft now. That's how I want it to print. I want it to print soft and not with that harsh, dark line. So I can make this as big as I want it. And then what I can do is I can get this one. This came over as an SVG, which is kind of nice because you've got all these different leaves here, right? So what I could do is I could ungroup it. And let's say I don't want this Thanksgiving or this blessings, I could take that off. And now I've got these different leaves that if I wanted to, I could select, put them around. So let's go ahead with all of these and we're going to change them. I think I can select all at one time. And let's change all of them to the standard and see what's going to happen. It's going to take that black line off. See how it takes it off? Some people like that, some people don't. I don't. I'm one of the people that do not like that black line when I'm sublimating. And see, I could just quickly go through and add different leaves, which I think would be adorable. So I'm going to duplicate a few. Now, my mama always told me that you don't want, when you're designing, especially on something like this, you don't necessarily want it completely perfect and accurate. So when she taught me with her floral design, you don't necessarily want an even number. So what I do is I always try and make it an odd number. So I'm going to maybe have 3 of these different leaves instead of 2. And as you know, like, yeah, I'm adding all of these, but you don't have to have 3 of each. You could definitely maybe have 5 of these ones, and I could sit there and do 5 different ones, or even 4 or something. Just trying to give you guys ideas. Now what I want to do is I want to make these custom for each person in my family. So I'm going to go ahead and do a text. Let's do the first one for me. My name's one of the shortest ones, so it's easy for me to get an idea before I move forward with the other ones. I'm going to go up to my font, and we're going to try and find a font, a curly font, kind of like this one. That one's kind of cute, right? This one was called Christina, just in case you guys are curious. It looks like this is one that I possibly uploaded myself, or downloaded to my computer. So I probably purchased it from Font Bundles. I think that's where I pretty much got all of my fonts. If you see the A here, that usually means that it's a Cricut Access. And as long as you're a member, then you can go ahead and use that. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one. I like it. I think it looks good. But I want to make sure that I change it to a standard. So it takes that harsh line away. And then I want to try and match this brown. So if I go up to the color, usually sometimes it will select the color for you, but it doesn't look like it did. So I'm going to have to go and find that color of brown. Let's see. Just get as closely as I can. Now this is the one thing I wish Cricut Design Space would change. Is most design spaces or softwares, they'll have like a little thing that I can hover over and I can figure out what color of brown that is. And it might just be really difficult to try and do this. You know what I might do? Again, this is just a workaround. It may not work for all of you. I'm going to do a screen print or a snip tool. And I'm going to try and snip this. Okay, I'm going to save it, Files, Save As to my desktop. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to PicMonkey, a website that I use quite often. I'm also a member of PicMonkey, but I use PicMonkey for a lot of my Etsy shop designs. So I'm just going to click on New Image, Blank Canvas. It doesn't really matter because I'm just using this to try and figure out the color. That's the only reason I'm using this for. And there is a free version of PicMonkey, and you should be able to do this in the free version. So now what I'm going to do, on another screen of mine, I can see the capture that the snip that I just captured. I'm just going to drag and drop it right here. There we go. And again, it doesn't really matter like how this is going to look. All I'm doing is trying to figure out this color. So what I'm going to do is, let's just pretend I'm going to add in a text. Just typing in something, right? Move this down so that we can see what's going on here. And I need to change the color of the text. So I'm going to go to text color. Now, there's a few different ways you could have done this. This is just the way I do it, you guys. This right here, this little tool, this is the whole reason I'm in PicMonkey right now. And the only reason I'm in PicMonkey right now. So I'm going to grab that tool, and I'm going to come over, I'm going to hover over this color. There we go. So right here is the color of brown. We're going to go ahead and highlight that. I'm going to right click and copy. Hopefully I did it right. I'm going to go back to Cricut Design Space. And I'm going to click on the name, and I'm going to click on the color, and then under advanced right here, see this number here? I'm going to go and I'm going to Control V, or you can right click and copy. Go ahead and just hit Control V, hit the button, and it's not quite close enough. So let's go try again. See how much easier this would be if it just would do it in Design Space. It'd be so much easier. Let's try there. So 382014. Clicking on this, clicking on this, clicking on advance. 382014. 382014. Enter. Hey, we're getting closer, you guys. This looks pretty good. I mean, I think that might be close enough. So, anyways, just a little trick of something that I use until Cricut Design Space can listen to me and everybody else and change that, because it would be definitely useful if they would change that. So here's just a quick little design that I put together really fast in Cricut Design Space. You guys saw how easy it was. Of course, I used Cricut Design Space images, but if you're not a member, you can still go find other images. For example, I had Etsy and Design Bundles open earlier, and I kind of just went through and I typed in like Thanksgiving, or you can type in turkey or things like this. And look how cute this one, thankful and blessed. Oh, look at that. I've already purchased this one. So I can download this one and I could use this one instead if I wanted to. So lots of different ideas that you can use within any design space or any software to come up with your own placemat. So let's go ahead and just kind of move forward on the Christmas one. Again, just to help get your creative juices flowing. I'm going to group this one together so that I can move it freely. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and hide this so that it's out of my way. I'm going to pick this one up. And another thing, you can see that this is taking up a lot of my space. All I have to do is this little button here. And now it's kind of hidden, so you don't have to see all of those different layers. If you're like going down your list trying to find stuff, just go ahead and group together. That's already grouped together. You're just kind of hiding it. Okay, so let's move on to Christmas. Let's do the same thing. Go to images and let's just type in Christmas. Yep, I think I like this one the best. But you guys, I'm going to throw you through a loop. I'm going to totally change this whole design. And move this out of the way for now. And we're going to play with this. I want to change it up. I want different colors. So to do that, I'm going to grab a shape. It's usually a rectangle that I always grab. I'm going to unlock the dimensions. I'm going to go across this whole thing. So right now I can highlight over the shape and over this print and cut. You can see there's two selected. I'm going to go ahead and click slice. I don't need this one, so I'm going to delete it. I don't need the gray one, so I'm going to delete it. But look what happens. I now have this as free. And I'm like, you know what? I want this to be red. I can go and change this to red. Look at that. Isn't that so cool? It's one of my favorite tricks. So that way you can truly make these designs your own. Go ahead and do the same thing with this one. Highlight the two. You can see there's only two selected. Oops. Two selected. I'm going to slice it. Get rid of the ones we don't need. Let's change this one to red. I mean, isn't it starting to look adorable? Let's maybe do the same thing to like the Merry Christmas. Like I'm totally turning this somewhat into an SVG because now we've got all these different layers, right? So let's go ahead and change this. Do the same thing with Merry. Go over a tad more. Now keep in mind, you can only have two layers selected, and see, I'm creating a whole bunch of layers here. So if I went like this, it's showing that I have 3 layers and it's not going to let me slice. So you have to be really careful that you're only selecting the 2. You can do it by that, or you can either come over here and just click on this one box and then hold your shift key down and click on the one that you need sliced. And then let's go ahead and slice it. Move it out of the way, the ones we don't need. This one's free now. But see how I clicked on that? It's because this one is on top. It's in front of the other. So you want to make sure you're clicking on the right one. I want to click on the one that just says Merry. Let's try changing that to red. I'm curious how this is going to look. Kind of cute. Let's do the same thing with Christmas, shall we? You guys, there's probably a lot of different ways to do this, especially when you're using different types of software than what I'm using. But this is just a workaround that I know of, and so I'm going to go with it. So I'm selecting my box, and then I'm going to select the image. We've got 2. We're going to slice. And then again, let's get rid of what we don't need. Let's maybe change. Oh, but see how it's trying to select the whole thing? We want to make sure we're selecting the one we want changed to red. Something like that. It's kind of cute, huh? Let's maybe change this green. Maybe I want it like a darker green. Ooh, I think I like that better. That's so cute, huh, you guys? Okay, there's one other thing that I think I might change. Let's go and get this square. I'm going to unlock my ratios. Something about like that. What I'm doing is I'm trying to get this green line out. And then we need to cut those 2. So just grabbing that in the green. You can see the 2 that you have selected over here. We're going to do slice. Here we go. We don't need that one. We don't need that one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these 2 bottom ones. You can see the green line here. You can see the red one there. I'm going to group those 2. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my keyboard. And I'm just going to push the arrow down. Just a little bit. Something like that. Okay. And now this is where I'm going to personalize it. So let's go to text. Let's type in Emma again. Something like that. But I think I'm going to change my font this time. And just let's see what I can find that would be really cute for something like this. It's kind of boring. Do I have anything that's snow? Ooh, this one looks like it's supposed to be snow. Ooh, I don't like that. No. Ooh, look at that one. It's like a cold. Oh, look at that. It's called Cold Outside. That's kind of cute, huh? Let's see if I want this one green. Or if I want it red. Yeah, it's cute, but I think I want to stick with the theme of these. So, I think it's closer to... I think this is the one I had before, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it to all uppercase. Yep, I like that much better. It kind of goes with the theme of the font that we're already using. Isn't that kind of cute? And maybe what I want to do is have this font the same size as the Mary. So I can go click on the Mary and I can see that the height is 1.74. So let's click on Emma and let's also do 1.74. And then let's change it to standard. And then let's change it to red. Do I want red or do I want green? What do you guys think? I mean, that's kind of cute. Having it a different color, that's kind of cute, huh? Or I could even do like black or something. No, that's horrible. Yeah, I'm going to go with green. I think I like it a different color. I'm going to highlight these two again and I'm going to push it back up a tad. And there we go. Like I totally somewhat redesigned that. Now I wonder if I should try and make these trees a little bit bigger. So right now it's connected. So these two trees are connected to this top. Let's just go ahead and disconnect it. I hope you guys are learning something. If you are, make sure you leave a note in the comments below. Maybe this is something you guys already know how to do and you're like, Emma, this is old news. I don't know, but I just find it fun. Slicing that. Delete that one, we don't need it. Delete that one. So right now the trees are all by themselves. I'm gonna unlock the ratios of the trees. Something like that I think would be adorable. So it's like the same amount from here to here that it is there to there. It looks pretty darn close if you ask me. And I'm okay with the trees being a little long. Totally fine with that. How cute. I think that's adorable. And I think those are going to make adorable placemats. Right? I think so. Absolutely. So then what I could do is I'm going to remove this Emma just for a second. Oh, gosh dang it. I thought I had it selected. This Emma, I need to move you. I'm just going to use my keyboard to move it over a tad. Then I'm going to grab it and I'm going to move it over. Okay? And the reason I did that is because now I've come up with my whole, design. I want to grab the whole thing, make sure everything's selected. It can see over here that it is. And I'm going to group this whole scene. I'm going to group this whole design. And that way I can go in and all I have to do is adjust the name. So here's Emma's, right? I'm going to, it's in the way. What I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate. I totally could have just started all over. By clicking text and just starting all over, but I'm just going to do it this way. I'm going to type in Brad. And did you guys see how I didn't go all the way back to the E? I'll show you why here in a second. Now I'm going to go delete the E. Let me show you why. Let me duplicate this again. Double click on it. We delete the whole thing and I'm going to type in Chandler. Look at that. See, you guys? When you go all the way back to the beginning, it basically restarts. So then I have to go up. I have to select it. I have to go up. Oops, wrong button. I have to go up. Change it to a standard, change the color. Like, it's just extra steps, you guys. It's just extra steps, and I don't want to have to. So that's the reason I don't delete the entire name. So let's do it again. I'm going to duplicate Emma. I'm going to double click on it. I'm going to go all the way back to the E, leaving it there. I'm going to type in Beckham. Now I can delete the E, and voila, there we go. So fun, right, you guys? Okay, now, this is where you kind of have to decide how you're going to fit the names in. Like, these are all the same height. I like them to be the same height. See, 1.74 as the Mary, like we did before. So the Mary's 1.74, right? Now, here's the question. Do we want them the same width? That's totally up to you in your designing brain. Let me check it out and see what I think. Let's do, sorry, I have so much going on over here. I'm going to try and hide these for a second so that they're out of my way. Just for now. I'll come find them in a second. Let's move this back over. So the length is 8.859. So let's go to Brad. We're going to unlock his ratios. We're going to type in 8.859. We're going to hit enter. And now Brad is exactly the same size or width as Mary. So that's totally up to you guys on if you want it the same width or if you want it not. I kind of prefer it not in this case. So I'm going to do the back button until I get to where it was. So really what I would do is I would probably just center this. So if I click the 2, so this whole thing is selected and then Brad is selected. I can go up to a line and I want to do center horizontally. And there you go. Now Brad is completely centered, right? How exciting. So then what I'm going to do is, let me just select the image and I'm going to do duplicate. So we've got the image. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this whole one and I'm going to group it. I can definitely make it smaller because I can go back and make it bigger in a second. And now let's go on to our next name. That's the one we already did. So I'm going to unhide that one. There's Chandler. Let's bring him up. Now this is where you probably would want to make it the same size or smaller. I already forgot the size. 8.859. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to unlock the ratio and I'm going to type in right here. And then there we go. And now we know it's the exact same dimensions as this one, except for his name is off. 1.74. His name was at 1.814. It's okay. I can just go change it. No big deal. And there we go. So on something like this, I probably would leave Chandler's name the same width as Mary, because I feel like if it was any smaller, his name would be too crushed and it would probably be almost the same size as the Christmas letters. And I want to make sure that it's big and bold and exciting. So I'm going to leave his just like this. I'm going to do the same thing where I select Chandler on the side here, hold down my shift key, and then I'm going to select the image. Oh, before I do that though, sorry. Grab the image. I'm going to duplicate it again so that I'm ready to use the next one. Let's try this one more time. I'm going to grab Chandler right. I'm going to grab Chandler right here. I'm going to hold my shift key down, grab the image. I'm going to go up to a line and I'm going to do a line horizontally just to make sure it's perfect in center. They are all selected, so I can go ahead and group. And there we go. Chandler is now done. And then I'm just going to go through and I'm going to do this for each person's name. Okay, now that we've got all 4 done, this is where the measuring is going to come into play. So we're going to grab it and we're just going to try and measure it to the width and height that we want for our placemat. Isn't this adorable? I think it's so cute. Something like this. And if you felt like there was too much space on each side, then we definitely could undo the dimensions because they're grouped. It's going to change it all together, and you could definitely slide. There we go. Something like that. Just kind of stretch it out a little bit. Something like that. That would be adorable, right, guys? I love it. So now that I'm happy with this first one, now I can go copy the dimensions for these other ones. So I'm going to write it down so that I don't forget. The width is 14.853 and the height is 11.023. All right, I'm going to hurry and get those other ones ready. Perfect. So we are now ready with our Christmas designs. So I can delete this. We don't need this. We don't need to cut it. We don't need to print it. It's just going to be these that we are going to actually be printing. And I've got a lot of them hidden. And once I'm ready, then I can go ahead and get these done. Now, the next step is to actually open Microsoft Word. This is how I do it. You guys can do it any way you want, but this is how I do it. Now, you guys all know that we cannot print larger than a certain thing. If I go to click make this, it's going to say it's not compatible. Like, that's one thing about Cricut Design Space is it has its limitations. And so my workaround is to do a snippet into Microsoft Word so that I can print it from there. I don't like to, some people will reduce the size, save it as a PDF, but what I have found is that sometimes it doesn't come through very clear. So this is my workaround, and it works really well. So let me get my Microsoft Word here so that you can see. The first thing I always do is go to Layout, Margins, Custom Margins. I always type 0 tab, 0 tab, 0 tab, 0 tab. I'm going to hit Enter. Yes, I want you to fix it. You can see up here where the margins currently are. What that basically means is you're not going to be able to print in that space. We want to make sure that we can. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And there you go. It changed your margins. Now I'm going to go ahead and change the orientation to landscape. All right. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Insert, and I'm going to do Screenshot, and then Screen Clipping. That's going to make your Microsoft Word disappear, and whatever was behind your Microsoft Word is going to open up, as long as you didn't have it closed out. Otherwise, it's just going to show your computer screen. So as long as it's open, then what you can do, and I'm going to give you a good example. Let's say that you don't do it super close. Don't worry. You could just grab a whole square just like this. It's going to go over into Microsoft Word. One of the first things I do is I put it behind the text so that I can move it around freely. But see how far away this is? No big deal. All you have to do is go up here to crop, and then you can bring the lines in as close as you can without cutting off any of your image. And then when you get as close as you feel comfortable, then just hit Enter. And now we're going to be closer to the dimensions. Now this is where it's important. We want to make sure that we have the same dimensions, which I already wrote them down. So I'm going to go over here. My width was 14.853. I'm going to hit Enter. Then I'm going to do my height, which was 11. Oh, you know what? I can't do that yet. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to click this where it says Lock Aspect Ratio. I'm going to unlock it. Now I'm going to change the height to 11.023. Hit OK. And there we go. Now, as you guys can see, let me just zoom out a tad. This is way too big for an 8.5 by 11. No big deal. My printer can print bigger prints. So I'm going to go up to my layout. I'm going to go to size, and I'm going to change this to my 11 by 17. There you go. And it definitely will fit on this print. And I could print this. And if I go and click Print Preview, File, Print. The print preview, it cuts a teeny bit off, which all that means is that we just need to skinny it up just a tad, which is no big deal to me. So I'm just going to grab that. I'm going to skinny it up just a tad. Move it more in the center of the sheet. Go back to File. Look at our print preview, and now none of them are cut off. And then this is where I would go in and print. Now you want to make sure that you're mirroring your image. My printer settings are already set up to mirror images. And where you would find that is in the More options. Right here, you would want this mirror image selected. So I'm going to go ahead and get all 4 of these printed, and I will meet you guys over at the crafting table. All right, guys, while that's printing, I decided I wanted to go and fluff up these Thanksgiving ones just a little bit more. So going back to the Thanksgiving ones, just because I feel like I'm not super in love with them yet. These are just 2 of the designs I just found in the images. I could easily just add them just like this. You know, do something cute, and just leave it like that. But I had a thought. This should all be connected. Let me just move this out of the way for a second. You guys know me and how much I love buffalo plaid. So I'm going to go ahead and do a square. Maybe just a little bit bigger so I can see it better. I'm going to go change this to a standard. I'm going to click on the color. I'm going to change this color to a pattern. And then I want to find me a cute buffalo plaid design. Maybe even something like fall looking would be kind of cute. Let's see what I can find. All right. Well, I didn't see any cute buffalo plaid designs. Now there's a way around that. I could definitely go find a buffalo plaid and just upload it, bring it in as a square, and then do what I'm going to do. But I am too lazy to do that right now. So I just chose this one. It may or may not be something I go with, but let's just see. All I'm going to do, you can see that this is 2 different layers. They're grouped together right now. So I'm going to ungroup really quick because all I want to do is grab the pumpkin layer, and I'm just going to put it over this, grab the 2 together so you can see that they're both highlighted over here, or selected, I should say. We're going to slice it. And then there you go. I just think that's so much cuter than just a plain orange. Isn't that adorable? I love it. Yep, that was a great choice. I'm going to delete this one. Let's move this back over. I'm going to group this back together. And then I'm going to make a few of them. I'm going to duplicate it. Maybe just duplicate 2 for now. I'm going to move some of these leaves. So to do that, I have to ungroup the whole design. Let's move these leaves out. Put the pumpkin there. In fact, I feel like I want that pumpkin, this color, the same as that one. So just to kind of keep it all in the same theme. That's adorable, huh? I love that. And yeah, I think it would be too much if I did too many pumpkins. So let's just start adding some of these leaves on the rest of the page. I'm loving how this is turning out. Isn't that adorable? Yep, I like that so much more. I think it's so cute. Really quick, I wanted to try and maybe do the same technique with these leaves. So I'm going to slice it, see what I think. I may or may not like it. Doesn't hurt to try though, right? So I kind of did that same technique just to give them a little bit more texture. Hey, I actually kind of like that. That's kind of cute, huh? Yeah, I think I'm going to do that on those orange leaves just to kind of help blend it in a little bit. So I'm going to go and fix these. All right, you guys, what do you think? I think that turned out so cute. I just love the extra dimensions that adding that pattern color behind these images. I love what it did to the look of the design. The one other thing I think that could be cute, just like the Christmas one, is to maybe add a cute outline. So I'm going to group this whole thing together. So that way I can make it big, small, whatever. I'm going to go to images and I'm going to type in swirl. There's probably a better term for this, but this has always worked for me. I could probably even type in border, honestly. Maybe I'll try that next. And I'm sorry if you can hear my printer printing in the background. Hopefully it's not too noisy. Any of them, to be honest. Maybe I can try a corner. Let's see. Ooh, this could work, you guys. Kind of like that one. That one. Okay, I'm gonna just try those two for now. You see this one comes, look how many layers this one has. So many different layers. And this one is just one. If I change this one to the brown that I think I'm going for, maybe make it a teeny bit smaller. Let's change it to a standard. Yep, see how it just already looks so much better when you change it to a standard. And then duplicate. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to flip it. Duplicate it again. This time I'm going to, whoop, it's getting mad at me because of all this printing I'm doing. So this time I'm going to flip it again, but I'm going to flip it the other way. There we go. And then duplicate it one more time, and now I'm going to flip it again. This way. See, I already like that better than just having just the words. I think that is absolutely adorable. So I'm going to delete this one because I definitely don't like it as well as these. Now it just comes down to, will I like this one better? You can see all the different layers. I'm going to make sure that they are all the same color. Standard. So really it comes down to which one do I like better with the design. And let's be honest, I really liked this one at first, but when I see this with like all of these swirlies, I kind of like the simplicity of that one.
Oh man, I wish you guys were here in live chat and you could tell me which one you like better. Let me try this again. Duplicate. I'm going to grab this one and this one, and I'm going to align with bottom because I want to make sure that they're the same on both sides. I'm going to grab this one, and we could do the same thing, align with bottom. Then I'm going to grab this one and this one, and I'm going to do align right. And then I'm going to grab this one, and I'm going to align left. So that way I know that they are all completely aligned. I'm going to actually group these two together just for a quick second. And I think I'm going to push them over just a tad. I'm going to do the same thing with these two. Group them and push them over just a tad. Because I don't want to be so close to those edges that I accidentally sublimate where I don't want it. Now I'm going to grab these two, which are already combined. I'm going to hold down my shift key and I'm going to grab these two. And you can see they're all selected over here, and I'm going to group. All right. Now we're going to do the same thing with this one so that I can decide which one I like better. So then what I want to do is I'm going to grab both of these and I'm going to duplicate. Move it over. I'm going to grab one of these. I know this is a lot, you guys, but honestly, this is how I come up with my designs. And then this is where we decide which one we like better. You guys are going to have to tell me in the comments below which one you liked better. Let's say this one's A and this one's B. Which one do you guys like better? Gosh, I like them both. They're both just super cute, but gosh, I feel like I'm going to go with this one. I feel like these go more well with the theme, and these are just too small. So there you have it. I went with A. Would you guys have gone with A or B? You tell me in the comments below. So now that we've got it, we need to go through. We need to print each person's name. I'm going to ungroup for a second. I have this grouped a billion times. You know one thing I'm going to do? So these are already grouped. You can just see how many layers? We just don't need that many layers. So if I were to just touch that one layer, the corner, and hit weld, let's see what happens to it. Oh, see, it fills in that. We don't want to fill that in. So never mind. Let's not weld it. We're just going to have to put up with all these different layers, which is fine. I'm going to make them go away so I can have a shorter list. Got lots of different here. All right, we're going to ungroup this section because it's got my name grouped in there. Okay, what I want to do is try and find my name. So I'm going to go down the list and try and find the thing that says E. There's E. So there's my name. And I'm going to move my name over. I'm using my keyboard. It's easier to grab. And then I can grab this. Okay, there we go. Then the basic cut, I also want to hide that just for a second. Now I'm going to grab all of these and I'm going to group this whole section together. Now I can go and unhide my placemat. I've got my name, which is perfect. Well, now what I need to do, just like we did with the Christmas ones, we're going to right click, we're going to duplicate, we're going to double click on it, I'm going to backspace all the way to the E and then start typing in the other name. Then I can go back to the E, and that way I don't have to start over every single time. And then this is where you would want to decide, do you want the names to be different sizes, different colors? Like, it's totally up to you and your designing. So I'm going to go ahead, finish designing the names, finish printing these out, and then I'll meet you guys over at the crafting table.
All right, you guys, here we are in the pressing corner. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on my press. I'm going to make sure that my temperature is at 400 degrees. We're going to be pressing these at 400 degrees for 60 seconds. Pressure's good. So let's go ahead and get these taken out of their plastic. All right, so the first thing we need to do before we even pre-press to get the moisture out, we want to make sure that we lint roll. Just get any loose fibers out of this fabric. And because I plan on doing both sides, again, we will see if it works out. I really have no idea. I want to make sure that I lint roll both sides. So right now I have Teflon sheets on both the bottom and the top. So I'm going to go ahead and press. I don't need butcher paper for this part just because it's just a pre-press. When I actually go to sublimate, I'm gonna make sure that I have butcher paper underneath. I'm gonna also make sure that I have butcher paper on top. So we're at the 400 degrees. I'm gonna go ahead and pre-press these for about 5 to 10 seconds each. All right, now that they've all been pre-pressed, then we can go ahead and apply our images. So I'm just gonna work on one at a time. It's interesting because when I pre-pressed these, it kind of shrunk. So I almost feel like you need to pre-press on both sides. Let me show you. Hopefully you guys can see this. Like the top part almost looks like it shrunk, and then the bottom part like almost looks like it has air bubbles in it. So I'm gonna pre-press that side too. Interesting. That did it. So definitely want to pre-press on both sides, you guys. Pre-pressing isn't just about getting moisture out of your fabric. It's actually also about pre-shrinking your fabric, because a lot of times multiple types of fabric can actually shrink when in contact with heat. So we definitely want to shrink both of these sides equally. Now this is making me think even more that this is going to work. Like I've been going so back and forth on, is this gonna work? Is it not gonna work? Is it gonna work? Is it not gonna work? I feel like in this situation with these ones, you can clearly tell they're double-sided. It's like two pieces that they sewed together back to back. So I'm pretty sure this is gonna work, even though at the beginning I didn't think it was gonna work. If it was just one piece, then that's when I think it probably wouldn't. But I mean, hopefully you guys can see that. You can see how tight this side is and how loose this side is. So you can clearly see it's two separate sides. I am just talking about from Tamara's Tidbits or rtsublimationblanks.com is where I got these ones. These ones are double layered. Okay, now let's go to put our image on. We're gonna do one side at a time, and get rid of some of this. Let me go first. I want to put one on the bottom to protect my Teflon. Then I want another one that's going to go on top. This is for each time we're doing this, and because we're going to flip it, we may even have to get an extra piece of butcher paper. So let's just grab the first one. Looks like this one's mine. One thing I want to point out is super important. Make sure you guys are always checking your prints, because you can see down in that I have a little bit of an ink smudge. It happens, like both of my printers do it, so I think it's just part of sublimation. The type of ink, the type of paper, like it can just easily smudge. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take that off. And honestly, probably to make it easier for me, I'm gonna just cut along these edges so that it will help me know what is center. Something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and lay it flat down. So I'm putting the piece of butcher paper down just in case it goes through. I don't think that it will because it's double layered. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just tape it down. Now the one thing I'm a little nervous about is that this is, you know, my press is only 15 by 15, and the further you get to the edges, the less the heat is going to be. So I may be a few degrees less on these edges than I am in the middle. So I have a feeling that around the edges, I might have lighter image. So if that's the case, I'm either going to, in the future, either maybe use a Cricut press and do two separate presses, or I could do two separate presses here and do one side and then slide it through and do the other side. There's different ways around it. So, but as of right now, I'm gonna leave it just like this. It's right there in the center. I've got it at 400 degrees. We're gonna press it for 60 seconds. Wish me luck. What's it gonna look like? Now we don't wanna reuse this one. This is the one that's, depending on the sublimation paper that you're using, if the sublimation paper bleeds through, then you definitely want some blowout paper. There is sublimation paper out there that does not bleed through, which I know that you can get at knockcustoms.com. I know theirs doesn't bleed through. And honestly, I'm probably gonna order some more of theirs. I just haven't yet because I have so much sublimation paper right now. Lots of different companies have sent it to me to try. This is amazing. Anyways, a lot of companies have sent me paper to try, and so I've got to work through all of that before I start ordering stuff. This is so cute. Oh my Lanta, I love it. I love it so much. Tell me you love it too. Oh, we just designed that start to finish together today. Amazing. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy right now. Happy, happy, happy. Okay, now we got to do the back. so I'm gonna go ahead and put this face down. Oh, and just so you know, it doesn't look like anything bled through, so I totally think this is gonna work. What? Okay, whoa, face down. Now granted, I am putting heat back on that, so you just have to know that anytime you're gonna repress something, some of that sublimation ink can actually come off a little bit and lift to this butcher paper. But one thing that I have tried in the past is getting parchment paper, and I've actually noticed that the ink doesn't transfer onto it as much. It actually sticks. So I'm gonna try that. Put it here. Okay, and then I need to get me a Thanksgiving one. This is the important part. At least I think it's important, is make sure you're getting the same name. I just think it'd be easier to have the same name on the same. It's hard to read these. Okay, there's Brad. There's Emma. I'm gonna do the same thing on these. I'm gonna cut, hoping these aren't too big. These might be too big. They look bigger. We'll see. No, looks like it'll fit. It's gonna be tight. Be really tight. I should have gone a teeny bit smaller just to make sure that it fits perfectly, because this is gonna go over just a tad, I think. Just a tad. And I think it's because when we pre-pressed it, it shrunk a teeny bit from what my measurements were. So learn from me, and maybe always go in about 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch to assume that you're gonna have a little bit of shrinkage when you're pre-pressing. That's secure, making sure it's right there in the center. It's good to me. I need another piece of butcher paper. And here we go for round 2. Here we go. Okay, the moment of truth. Seriously, like I am on pins and needles right now. Did it work out? Did it not work out? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Okay, let's try. It's adorable, and it totally worked out. You guys, you have to try this. Double-sided. What? Oh my gosh, look how cute. That turned out so cute. You've got fall on one side and you've got Christmas on the other. You don't have to buy 2 sets of placemats. You can buy 1. And you could do the same thing with so many different holidays. You could do like Valentine's Day and then Easter or something like that. You know, you could do birthdays. Like you could make these custom, like happy birthday, and put somebody's name on this side and put the other person's name on this side, and you rotate it. Oh my gosh, the ideas are endless. Now let's talk about fading. Because my press is only 15 by 15. I am satisfied. I'm happy with it. I think it's fine. They definitely faded a teeny bit on the edges. So how would I go around it? I'm just going to make my image a teeny bit smaller so that it's not all the way to the edge, and then I'm not going to have that problem. I was really nervous about it being really light, like on this tree on the side. It's not. You can't even tell, you guys. You can't even tell. My press is killer. You have to admit this is adorable and such a great idea. And you could sell these. You could totally sell these. I think people would pay for this. They're getting a 2-for-1. They're getting 2 holidays on 1 placemat. And you can customize them with their names. What? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna finish pressing the other 4. I'll do it in fast forward motion, and then I'll meet you guys in the end. Oh, I'm so excited. So cute. Turned out adorable. It's hot, 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 hot. There's Chandler's. Oh, my Lanta is so cute. Can you guys tell I'm like a little bit excited? Oh, I love it. I love it so much. So cute. Just in case you guys are curious, I went from cutting a straight line to actually going in just a tad. The only reason I'm doing that is so that I have more of a surface to tape my image because these are like right up to the edge. And if I do that, then I just have more surface to be able to tape my image. That's all. Nothing special. while that one's finishing up, I wanted to show you how cute these leaves turned out. I mean, you can't see all of the exact details because of the type of fabric, but you can definitely see the oranges and the yellows that I have in there. So I am happy. Even the pumpkin, you can see the cute little details in the pumpkin. So I am happy that we went ahead and changed the background of those details. It turned out cute. Now, because I cut around the images, there's a little bit of an indent. Maybe you guys can see it here. Right there, there's an indent. So while it's very hot, this is kind of burning my hands right now. Not hot enough to hurt me, but just get your roller while it's warm and just go along, and it honestly, it pulls those pieces of fabric back up so that you don't have that indent anymore. Now that only works well if it's still warm or hot. So I usually do it like immediately right there underneath the press. Oh, you know what I didn't pay attention to? If it was right side up or upside down. I guess it really wouldn't matter, but in my brain it matters. I would want them both right side up. Let's look if let's see if I messed up any of these. Right side up, right side up. I got that one right. Right side up, right side up, right side up, right side up. Okay, you guys, I swear to you, I did not mean to do that. That was pure luck. That was pure luck. Good for me. One thing that I forgot to mention, you guys, just in case you're wondering, what's going on back here, Emma? Well, a lot of you that follow me know, I've kind of been talking about it in our Facebook group, that I had no space. And it's one thing, you know, when I first got started, I had very few things, and I've slowly over the last few months been adding to, you know, my inventory, but also adding new machines so that I can expand my inventory. So I just truly was running out of space. So this was my way of being able to add in a lot more cabinets. So my husband is a woodworker on the side. Super lucky. I'm so fortunate in that, because I couldn't build these. So my sweet husband, basically we had a piano here that I took upstairs, and then I had a few other just random shelves. So he just built me this big old long cabinet and counter space where I can put all my printers, I can put my cutting machines. It's not done yet, it's not done yet. So he's still gonna be adding on doors so that you don't see all my clutter, and then he'll add on doors on the upper cabinets. And then I've got 2 more cabinets on that side, so I'll have plenty of space. I'm so excited. So don't just think that I'm super messy and I like to videotape this way. I don't. Eventually it will look really nice and professional for my YouTube studio. But as of right now, this is what it's gonna look like. Hopefully we'll have it finished in the next 2 to 3 weeks is my guess. All right, let's turn this off. It's getting hot in here. One thing I wanted to quickly mention, and I actually got this from Simply Sally. I follow her on YouTube. She's so great. She's actually one of my inspirations in starting this whole crafting business that I do. But one thing that, and if you don't follow her, go follow her. She's got an awesome channel. It's Simply Sally. Anyways, one thing that she mentioned in one of her videos is to stop throwing away our used picture paper. Like, yeah, it has images and stuff like that on it, but you know what you could do? Up like this, and you could use it as filler in your packages so that you're not constantly buying, you know, the bubbles or the big, you know what I'm talking about, all the filler when you're packaging. So honestly, such a great way to reuse paper products so that, you know, we're helping contribute and save the earth and save the environment. So cool tip and trick from Simply Sally. All right, you guys, that is it for today's video. What do you guys think? Obviously you can tell I am in love, and I'm so excited about this project, and I'm going to be making a lot more. In fact, I'll probably sell these on my Etsy page and sell them custom, so that if people want to do, you know, one for each member of their family, great, awesome, right? So you guys will have to let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any other tips and tricks for the rest of us, we love to hear them. So leave those tips and tricks in the comments below as well. As always, you guys, I really rely on you guys to know what type of content that you want. So if you liked the content of this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Make sure that you subscribe. But really the most important thing, you guys, is clicking that bell so that you will get notified anytime that I upload a new video. Until next time, we'll see you later, friends.